Nearly 0.1 million tons of municipal solid waste is generated in India every day. Approximately 36.5 million tons of waste is generated annually, and out of the total municipal waste collected, 94% is dumped on land and 5% is composted. Urban India is the world's third largest garbage generator. We throw tons of aluminium cans, glass and paper, creating a huge part of waste generation. But where does it go? What happens to the waste once it's out of your homes? In this half hour, we take you through the journey of waste and how challenging it is to manage waste in our country. It's a common scenario in most of the Indian homes, where almost no one separates household waste, whether it's food, plastic, glass or garden cuttings, discarded clothes, shoes. It all ends up in a mix like this. The garbage collector, or Kudawala as he's called, comes to your house every morning to empty your dustbins inside his small van, cycle or truck. Takes all the garbage from your neighborhood and dumps it in a collection center. Typically, each household waits for the garbage boy with 2 or 3 bags of trash. If he doesn't turn up, the garbage becomes too much to store in the house. The household help or maid of the house takes the bags, walks a few yards away, probably towards the end of the lane, and dumps the Kuda bags there. This land at the end of the lane soon becomes the neighborhood's very own garbage dump, a convenient place to dump anything if the garbage boy doesn't show up.
It's a common assumption among urban residents that once their waste goes out of their house, it's not their problem anymore. But that's not true. It's just the beginning of a problem. I'm at one of the dhalaus or collection points in East Delhi, from where the garbage is collected and taken to the landfills. This gives us a true picture and a larger perspective that how big the problem of garbage management is in our country.
From neighborhood garbage dumps to municipal garbage dumps, the waste finally makes its way to landfills like this. There are 3 landfills in Delhi, sites chosen for their distance from the city and demarcated as garbage areas in urban master plans, now more than 35 years old. Since then, the city has expanded dramatically, and so has its population. Many of the landfills are now engulfed by residential colonies. What's more, the amount of garbage has long spilled out of landfills, leaving the municipal corporation of the city unable to manage its own waste.
दिल्ली में लगभग पॉपुलेशन 2 करोड़ के करीब हो गई है और अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 9,000 to 10,000 मीट्रिक टन गार्बेज जनरेट होता है, विच जो तीनों चारों कॉरपोरेशन दिल्ली में इसको उठाती हैं. लगभग 2,000 ट्रक लैंडफिल्स या प्रोसेसिंग यूनिट पे जाते हैं. जैसे जैसे इकोनॉमिक स्टेटस इम्प्रूव हो रहा है और पॉपुलेशन इंक्रीज़ हो रही है, ये गार्बेज आगे बढ़ता ही जाएगा. हम लोगों ने एस्टिमेट किया है कि बाई 2025 अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 18,000 मीट्रिक टन पर डे जनरेट होगा.
As we continue to investigate the cycle of waste management, what emerges at each level is the inhuman conditions of those who work in the field. Like Vijay Singh, who we accompanied on the way to a landfill in Ghazipur from Delhi.
कितने साल से ये कर रहे हो आप? 20 21 साल से.
95 से लग रहा हूँ मैं।
इन 20 सालों में कुछ बदला है?
20 साल
नहीं, 20 सालों में कुछ बदला है?
क्या बदला जी, अपने कूड़ा तो यही ऐसे ही चल रहा है सब दिन से। यही अपने 4 चक्कर 5 चक्कर यही मारने पड़ते हैं, अपना ऐसा ही है। हमारे लिए क्या बदला था? हमारी कोई सुविधा नहीं है जी, कोई बात नहीं, कोई कपड़ा भी नहीं देते हमारे को, तो ना कोई मास्क देते, ना कोई बीमारी में छुट्टी ले जाऊँ चटपट रखे हैं। क्या क्यों छुट्टी करी, बीमार हो रही है दुनिया भर की।
कितने घंटे काम करते हो?
8 घंटे करते जी, 5 चक्कर मारते हैं।
5 चक्कर मारने ही मारने?
हाँ, 5 तो जरूर मारने पड़ेंगे।
आपने कभी मांगा कुछ सुविधाएं, जैसे आपके लिए खासकर, क्योंकि इतना
बहुत
ये बदबू आ रही है जो यहाँ पे?
बहुत बार बोलिया जी मास्क के बारे में, बहुत बार बोलिया, देते नहीं, खिलाते नहीं, कोई सुविधा देते नहीं हमारे को। कई बार बोल चुके जी, कई बार इकट्ठे हो गए बोल पड़े ड्राइवर सारे, जितने हमारे पास 100 ड्राइवर हैं, 100 लगभग, वो सारे ने बोल दिया जी, बिना सुनाई करी।
वो कितने पैसे मिल जाते हैं?
पैसे जी मैं तो पुराना हूँ, थोड़ा ठीक है, जैसे ठेकेदार के तो थोड़े मिले जी, 15, 17, 16। सबसे ज्यादा तो थोड़े उस पे जी, खत्ते पे,
लैंडफिल पे गद्दे का। क्या जैसे? क्योंकि
वो प्रदूषण, धुआं, गैस निकलती है वहाँ, गैस से ही हमारी बीमारी बनती है, हमारे टीबी, सांस वगैरह। जो वो पूरी सुविधा देते हैं तो कुछ बात नहीं, माटी गिरती रहे या मतलब वो करते रहे, पानी पूनी छिड़क दे रास्ते पे, लड़ाई पे आप देखते हो, कभी देखते भी आपने, वहाँ पर माटी ज़्यादा हमारी मतलब परेशानी, ज़्यादा परेशानी।
As we trace the city's garbage from dustbins to dumps, and finally when we drive up to this Ghazipur landfill, one realizes that if it wasn't for these trucks traveling hundreds of kilometers each day, the city would see tons and tons of garbage lying all around. In fact, most of the waste collectors and drivers driving these tippers and garbage trucks are contractual employees. What goes unnoticed is that the challenges faced by drivers like Vijay Singh. They travel on this stretch 5 to 6 times a day to transfer the city's waste up here. They are forced to bear the unbearable stench and don't even have a basic mask.
The health hazards of the workers is just one part of a deeply disturbing story. It's evident at first glance that these landfills signal disaster for the city in every way. Ghazipur is the capital's oldest functional landfill, commissioned in 1984. Rising high like a mountain peak with birds of prey circling it, the waste becomes visible much before one is assaulted by its stench. Smoke rises steadily from the pile as the decomposing waste generates highly combustible methane gas, deadly in its toxicity. The Ghazipur landfill has been declared a danger to the city. In fact, all 3 landfills in Delhi are in the same condition. With thousands of tons of waste being dumped each day, but land is scarce and these are the only sites, and so they continue to be in use. India's garbage generation stands between 0.2 to 0.6 kilograms of garbage per head. That means one individual generates nearly 1 kilo of waste. For a city like Delhi, that adds up to 9,000 metric tons of solid waste. Waste that the city doesn't know what to do with.
दिल्ली में जैसा कि आपको पता है 3 लैंडफिल्स एक्टिव थी, चौथी अभी रिसेंटली नरेला बवाना में हमें मिली है। तो तीनों लैंडफिल बहुत टाइम पहले ही ओवर सेचुरेट हो चुकी है। चूँकि लैंड कंस्ट्रेंट की वजह से हम और लैंडफिल नहीं बना पा रहे हैं, तो हम इसी को यूज़ कर रहे हैं। ये चूँकि लॉन्ग बैक स्टार्ट हुई थी, तो ये प्रॉपर साइंटिफिक मैनर से नहीं बनाई गई हैं, जिसकी वजह से पोल्यूशन क्रिएट होता है। जैसे लीचेट जनरेट होता है, वो ग्राउंड वाटर को पोल्यूट करता है। मीथेन गैस जनरेट होती है, वो एयर पोल्यूशन करती है। और चूँकि इसकी हाइट बहुत बढ़ गई है, साइड स्लोप्स प्रॉपरली अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो हमेशा एक डर बना रहता है कि गार्बेज स्लिपेज ना हो जाए। which may cause some major accident.
So one truck brings in a whole truckload of, say, medical waste, and the other one will bring in construction waste, and third one will actually bring in a whole truck full of plastic. So all of that is dumped together, and then when that decomposes, it actually affects your water table. So there's something called leachate that is actually generated after years of decomposition, and that's the most toxic, most poisonous form of liquid that we have on this planet, and each landfill actually generates that. So your land gets contaminated, your water table gets contaminated, and of course your air gets contaminated, because at the end of the day you're talking about methane that comes out, and methane is only one of the poisonous toxic gases that come out of our landfills. And so there's an ecological problem, there's a human health problem, public health problem, and then there's a problem of human rights.
The World Health Organization lists 22 types of diseases that can be prevented or controlled simply by improving a city's solid waste management system. These include headache, nausea, breathing difficulties and lung irritation, sleeping difficulties, weight loss, chest pain, and aggravation of asthma, among a few more health issues. While the old landfills are dangerously toxic, the crisis continues to be one of space. By 1985, the capital had already exhausted all of its 19 landfills, but the amount of waste was increasing exponentially. The Delhi Municipal Corporation approached the DDA, or the Delhi Development Authorities, which allotted 3 more landfills. But these were not factored into the master plan, and no sanitation guidelines were set. Landfills across the country are in this state: overflowing and dangerous.